Hello, thank you for joining us on the channel. Today it is another video, and this is the second video on Concord in JAMB Use of English. In this video we are looking at Concord, the rules of Concord, and some JAMB questions relating to Concord. Like I said earlier, this is the second video. In the first video we defined Concord. We said that it was the agreement between the subject of a sentence and the verb. Also, in that first video, we looked at rule 1 and rule 2. We also solved some past questions relating to those rules. I will leave the link to the first video at the top right corner of this video, and in this video's description. If you haven't seen it, you may check it out. So in this video, we are going to continue from where we stopped in the first video, and that means we are going to start from rule 3. So here is rule 3. I want us to pay very close attention to this because it is a bit complex. It says, the rule says, when the subject of a sentence is either of, neither of, one of, or none of, and there is a relative pronoun, whether who, which, that, whose, or whom, after the noun or pronoun that follows, the verb after the relative pronoun will be plural, while the verb in the main clause will be singular. In a case where there is no relative pronoun, the only verb will be singular. What this rule is telling us is that whenever a sentence begins with either of, neither of, one of, or none of, there would be a noun or sometimes a noun phrase after any of these either of, neither of, one of, or none of. There is going to be a noun or sometimes a pronoun after either of or none of, after any of them. Then after that noun or pronoun, a relative pronoun. That relative pronoun could be who, could be which, could be that, could be whose, could be whom. Now, after this relative pronoun, the verb that will come after this relative pronoun will be plural. And in this case, where we have the relative pronoun, there is going to be another verb after the first verb. That second verb, it will be the verb in the main clause. That one will now be singular. Sometimes there might not be these relative pronouns, who, which, that, whose, or whom. If there is no relative pronoun, there will be only one verb, and that verb will be singular. Let's look at these examples for better understanding. Example A. One of the boys who sell onions is from Makurdi. Now let's see, the sentence begins with one of, then followed by a noun or a noun phrase. In this case, it is a noun phrase, the boys. Then followed by the relative pronoun, who. We now say that the verb after the relative pronoun must be plural. That is why we have sell. Sell is a plural verb. The singular of sell is sells. But because the verb must be plural after the relative clause, that is why we have sell. Sell onion. One of the boys who sell onions. It means the boys who are selling onions are more than one. One of the boys who sell onion. Sell is the first verb. You will now say the second verb is going to be singular, and that is the verb is from Makurdi. This sentence means that the boys who are selling onions are more than one. There are many boys selling onion, but only one of them is from Makurdi. So the first verb will be plural, while the second verb will be singular. Let's go to example B. One of the boys is from Makurdi. In this case, the relative pronoun is not there, so we have only one verb, and that verb, I say, should be what? Singular. That is why we have the verb is. One of the boys is from Makurdi. Let's examine example C. Example C says, none of them speaks French. None of them speaks French. In this case, we have just only one verb. And why? Why do we have only one verb? Because the relative pronoun is not in this particular sentence. There is no relative pronoun, there is no relative clause. Normally, if we have the relative clause, we could have two verbs. But since we have only one verb, we said the verb is going to be what? Singular. That's why we have the verb speaks. Speaks is singular, while speak is plural. Speaks with S is plural. None of them speaks French. Let's examine example D. Neither of the two young boys who have been caught with parts of the stolen machine has admitted stealing it. This one is quite a long sentence, but then let's look at it in relation to the rule. Neither of them, followed by the noun phrase, the two young boys, then followed by the relative pronoun. Do you remember the relative pronoun? Who. It could be who, it could be which, it could be that, it could be whose or whom. But in this case, we have who, followed by the relative pronoun who. We said that the verb that will follow that relative pronoun must be a plural verb. That is why we have the verb have been caught. That is a plural verb, have. If it were singular, it would be has. But because it is plural, that's why we have, H-A-V-E, who have been caught. But because these boys are two of them, that's why we have the plural verb have been caught. Neither of the two young boys who have been caught with parts of the stolen machine. Now we are in the place of the second verb, has, H-A-S. The second verb is going to be in the singular form, has admitted stealing it. Neither of the two young boys who have been caught with parts of the stolen machine has admitted stealing it. Let's go to example E. Example E is from example D. But then the difference is that in example E, there is no relative pronoun. Therefore, we have only one verb. And that verb is going to be in the singular form. Neither of the two young boys has admitted stealing it. Has. So whenever there is only one verb, whenever there is no relative pronoun, we will have only one verb. And that only one verb is going to be in the singular form. As we have in this case, neither of the two young boys has admitted stealing it. Let's see some JAMB past questions relating to Rule 3. This is question 72, UTME 2010. The question says, one of the women who dash in the premises dash being ordered to quit. One of the women who dash in the premises dash being ordered to quit. A. Sell has. B. Sells has. C. Sell have. D. Sells have. According to Rule 3, when a sentence begins with one of or none of, but in this case we have one of, followed by a noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun, in this case followed by the woman, a noun phrase, followed by a relative pronoun, in this case who, we have two verbs. The first verb is going to be plural, while the second verb, that is the second dash, is going to be singular. Do you remember? Now let's come to our options. The first verb is going to be what? Plural. So let's see. Sell. Do not forget, it is the singular verb that carries S, while the plural verb does not carry S. So in this case, we are looking for the plural verb, the plural of sell, and that is what? Sell, actually without S, sell. So it could either be option A or option C. We now say the second verb is going to be what? Singular. The singular of have is has, and that is option A, sell has. One of the women who sell in the premises has been ordered to quit. Option A. What this sentence means is that the women who are selling in the premises are more than one. There are many women selling in the premises, but only one of them has singular, only one of them singular has been ordered to quit. That is why we say that the first verb is going to be plural, while the second verb is going to be singular. Let's move to the second question. This is question 84, UME 1991. Two young boys have been caught with parts of the stolen machine, but Dash admitted stealing it. Two young boys have been caught with parts of the stolen machine, but Dash admitted stealing it. A. Neither of them has. B. Neither of them have. C. None of them has. D. None of them have. In this kind of question, all our focus should be on the last clause of the sentence, and that is, but Dash admitted stealing it. Now, look at it very well. We have two young boys, two. When we have two, it is neither of them that can be correct, not none of them. When they are more than two, you can say none of them. But since they are two, it is going to be neither of them. That means option C and D are wrong. Option A and B have neither of them. Either of these is correct. Now, option A says neither of them has. Option B says neither of them have. In this case, since there is no relative pronoun in this particular clause, then we are going to go for the singular verb. As we said in our rule, that in a case whereby there is no relative pronoun, the only verb will be singular. That means we go for the singular verb, which is has. But neither of them has admitted stealing it. Option A. To the next question, question 75, UTME 1992. Ahmed is one of the boys who always dash good work. Ahmed is one of the boys who always dash good work. A does, B would do, C do, D done. Look at this sentence very well. Ahmed is one of the boys. Now, who always dash good work? There is a relative pronoun, who, and this means that our verb is going to be the plural verb, because we have the relative pronoun who after the plural noun boys. Our verb is going to be the plural verb. Remember the rule. Whenever we have one of, either of, neither of, or none of, when there is a relative pronoun, the verb after the relative pronoun will be plural. So the correct option is option C. Ahmed is one of the boys who always do good work. What this sentence means is that the boys who do good work are plenty. We have many boys who do good work. Ahmed is just one of them. Let's go to the next question. Question 91, UTME 2002. The quality of your questions which dash always attracted attention dash never be in doubt. The quality of your questions which dash always attracted attention dash never be in doubt. A. Have, has. B. Have. C. Has, have. D. Has. Before we find the answer to this question, I want to let you know that this question does not begin with one of, none of, neither of, or either of. But then the question still falls within those questions that has the same rule. The same rule still applies to this particular question. Now let me explain. The question says the quality of your questions. Take note, the quality is a singular subject. Of your questions, questions is a plural noun. Now it's just like saying one of your questions. Remember, one is a singular noun. The same way, the quality, not qualities, the quality is a singular noun. Which is a relative pronoun. In this case, like we said, whenever we have a relative pronoun, the verb immediately after the relative pronoun is going to be plural. And the verb in the second clause, the second verb, is going to be singular. The same rule applies. Now, let's see the options. Have, remember, have is a plural verb, while has is a singular verb. So, the verb that comes immediately after the relative clause is going to be plural, that is have, while the second verb is going to be singular, that is has. And which option goes with that? Option A. Option A. The quality of your questions, which have always attracted attention, has never been in doubt. Now, let me explain more. The questions that attracted attention are more than one. That's why we use the plural verb, have. But then the quality is singular. The quality has never been in doubt. Now, take note of this. The second verb, has, that singular verb, goes with the singular subject, the quality. The quality has never been in doubt. While the first verb, after the relative clause, that's that plural verb, have, goes with the plural noun, questions. The quality of your questions, which have always attracted attention, has never been in doubt. So guys, at this point, we shall be dropping the curtain as far as this video is concerned. In the next video, we shall begin from rule 4. Thank you for always being here. Do not forget to drop your comment, subscribe to the channel, and like this video. Thank you for always being here. See you some another time. Bye.